You know the vibes. Welcome to another edition of the Hoop Genius podcast brought to you by NBA 2K23. Now, for you guys who listen on audio, shout out to you because you're the early gang. The YouTube episodes come up a little bit later in the day because obviously we have to edit them. And BJ, I've just been thinking about this, right? All season long, my background has been what color? You even mentioned this before the show began.
Hey, I thought you were lighting the beam. I thought you were. I thought the beam was. The
beam reached London.
We got a new Sacramento. We got a new Sacramento Kings fan. We got a new Kings fan.
No. Well, I mean, I think purple just fits in with the streaming aesthetic, but the background's always been purple, and now the skies in Sacramento are purple once again for the second time this week as they defeated the Golden State Warriors in Game 2 by the score of 114 to 106. Fox and Sabonis had 24 each. Draymond Green got ejected, and we're going to break down all of it for you right here, right now. And then we're going to talk about the Philly and Brooklyn game, which was a little bit less exciting, but bear with us nonetheless. I'm Mo Mootsie, alongside me as always, the one, the only Mr. BJ Armstrong. BJ, talk to me. You said yesterday or the day before yesterday, whoever wins game 2 is going to win the series. Now, you picked the Kings before. I should have listened. You picked the Kings at the start of the series. You said whoever wins game 2 is going to win the series. My only question to you now is how many games does this series go?
Mo, when you enter into a playoff series, okay, and this is for yourself, our listeners, players, coaches, executives. Here's a secret to playing in the playoffs. You have to prepare for 7 games.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You don't prepare to say, well, I'm just going to first 1 to 4, You have to prepare to play 7 games and go to whatever is necessary to do what you got to do. Now, I think this goes 7.
You said that, yep, at the start.
I think this goes
because to be fair, the Warriors lost the first 2 games, but they were pretty close. Both games down the stretch were very close games.
Now, this goes 7. Now, they give the Kings credit. They're a young team in many regards. First time in the playoffs, da-da-da. However, first test, they checked. They happen to have won both of those games, but the most impressive thing, they let the Warriors know they are there to fight. They met the physicality of both games. The game is very physical. They met it. They didn't shoot too well. They didn't shoot well. They still figured out how to win. Their starters didn't play well, except with the exception of Fox in the first game. They still won. So both teams are feeling like, hey, we can do this. What I did like, though, about the Kings today, is Mo, it's obvious. Okay, they are the fastest team in the series.
Yeah, we've discussed this. Yeah,
they're the fastest team. So now, Mo, we know that they have imposed their will on the game, especially at home. That crowd, the way they play, their confidence is off the charts. Now, here's the thing, Mo, to look out in game 3 and not getting ahead of game 4. As you know, Mo, you're going to have to play a different style of basketball on the road as compared to home. They're not going to have that fans. They're not going to have the cowbells.
And the Warriors have been massively better at home than they are on the road. And if the road games were close, you'd expect the Warriors to be better than this.
Yeah. But Mo, here's the thing. They control the tempo of the game. The Warriors, Mo, can't get into a track meet with this team.
No.
Now, I saw the Warriors do something, Mo, I haven't seen in like 10 years. They were not running on defensive stops.
No, they're trying to slow the pace down. They're trying to get into their half-court stuff where they can attack the Kings defense,
And Sacramento has showed me this. They want to run whether Golden State makes it or not.
Yeah,
okay.
We mentioned this
They're
after
doing
the
3
first
things.
game.
They are doing 3 things. Their coach is saying, keep shooting. Okay, you miss them, keep shooting.
Yep.
Offensive rebound. Okay, and get out in transition. Now, Mo, he doesn't care on the pace of the game. He's like, keep shooting. If you miss it, get the offensive rebound, get some stops, and get out in transition because we will wear them down. We're the younger team.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to impose our will. And Steve Kerr, for the first time, Mo, when they go small, traditionally they've called it their lineup where they play faster than everyone else.
Lineup or whatever they called it.
They call it. They are not running. And now, Mo, that's a concern. I don't care now whether it's home or away. They know they are the faster team. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out on Thursday. Now we got a couple of days to let this marinate a little bit. And we're going to, now they're going to head down to the Bay down there. And what a series. I mean, Mo, this was fantastic basketball. This was fabulous.
I think the thing that stands out to me right now is the Kings doing a great job in guarding Steph Curry. Guys like Davion Mitchell are sticking to him like glue, and they're really trying to not let him get any breathing space, right? And the thing for the Warriors is they have this beautiful offense. We always talk about how great their offense is with the off-ball movement and the cuts and whatnot. But there's no one else on the team really that can self-create offense. If you're playing the Celtics, for example, someone's denying Jason Tatum, you can give the ball to Jaylen Brown, he'll go to work. We saw with Philly, right? We'll get onto this in a minute. If they're going to double team Embiid or they're going to deny Embiid, James Harden and Maxey can go and get cooking. But my problem here for the Warriors is outside of Steph, who else can have the ball in their hands and go and create offense like that?
Well, okay. Here is the problem. Steph, I don't know where you want to refer to him. If you want to say he's a point guard because of his size, but he's not because he plays off the ball.
He's Steph Curry. He's unique in that we've never seen a player like him.
But here is the problem now. Because of the pace of the game, because of all the cross matches, because, again, well, to me, this is what great playoff basketball is all about. I can't stop everything that you do, but I'm going to take away something. I'm going to take away Steph Curry, and we're going to make Kevon Looney and Draymond Green score the basketball. Mm-hmm. See, to me, that's just great basketball. Like, okay, and if Draymond Green gets 30 and Kevon Looney gets 28,
Draymond hit a 3 at the start of the game, and I was like, if he can hit these, okay, interesting. But then he took another one, didn't make it, and that was the end of that experiment.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I love the all of the when these coaches are making these adjustments. I love the fact that now they got all these defensive schemes and plans and what they're going to do. But more importantly, Mo, Coach Brown and his staff are showing you we're going to live with this. Mm. We are going to be decisive. We're going to be aggressive, and we're not going to complain about the physicality of the game. When the game gets physical, they accept the physicality of the game. These guys are running into they're running right into the chest of the Golden State Warriors. They're not complaining about how tough the game is. They're taking their shots. They weren't like hitting them, but they took them. Now, It's going to be fascinating to watch them play on the road, okay? Because they can't bring that crowd down there with them.
Yeah, and the Warriors crowd, it's a decent crowd.
The Warriors crowd's going to be good.
Not quite the Kings or the Celtics. It's still okay, though.
But they're going to be better. But I'm going to tell you something. Steph Curry was worn down a little bit. I think today's game wore them down, playing every other day. They got a couple of days now to rest in between. But Mo, I'm telling you, this young Sacramento team, they're just young. And this guy, De'Aaron Fox, guy here, when he plays downhill mode, I don't think there's anything you can do.
I mean, they did a better job on denying the offensive rebounds than they did in game one in terms of the Warriors stopping the Kings getting on the offensive board. But the pace at which Fox plays, you see it, and there's not really, even the best athletes on the Warriors, there's not really a guy that can guard him. And then you have Sabonis, who, no matter how many times he goes down, he just keeps getting back up. Let's talk about the incident with Draymond Green. Sabonis was on the floor and he held onto Draymond's leg, and Draymond then stamped on Sabonis's chest or whatever it might be. Draymond Green ejected from the game. Great news for podcast fans because it means he got an extra 10 minutes to practice his podcast skills before the game ended while he was in the locker room. But you're looking at that and you're thinking it was what was it, a 4-point game? You got it to a 4-point game, right? And the game felt like the Kings should be up massive. It's a 4-point game. And I think it was tied just a couple of possessions after, right? You really looking at it like if you were in the game, you could have been the difference maker to give your team that win. This is the playoffs. We've seen this before with Draymond in the 2016 finals. We've seen it again tonight. Keeping your composure in those moments because potentially the difference in the series being tied and stealing a game on the road and now being down 2-0. What did you make of that incident?
Just playoff basketball. Stuff like that doesn't bother me. Okay. Look, you can call it when you get to the playoffs. These referees can call a foul every play.
Mm-hmm.
These guys are grabbing. These guys are, they're doing all types of stuff. Now, all right, that happened. They cleaned it up, and everybody moved on. So I'm from a different era. So yes.
but we don't see that in this era. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That doesn't even that didn't even faze me. Like I was like, okay. Like they call a foul on Draymond, like, I don't know, 3 or 4 plays prior to that.
And then they challenged it and got overturned.
And then it rescinded the call. Yes. Look, here's what I like about this. Sabonis and Draymond are getting after it.
Mm-hmm.
This is great. I mean, but this is what basketball is all about. Let's get after it.
Let's
get after it. Okay.
One person.
Yeah, let's get after it. So here's the thing. Thing. Whatever happened. And now they hell serve and then let's go play.
Okay. But one person who's not got after it is Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole, who signed the $144 million contract with the Warriors, played 16 minutes, gave them 4 points, a horrendous couple of turnovers. This is an issue for the Warriors if, because I was just talking about having another guy that can create offense. That's supposed to be Jordan Poole. But if he can't produce...
Well, he can't get on the floor right now. See, well, it's all about the matchups.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at Jordan Poole. Where is he going to play? Like, well, where's he going to play right now?
I mean, defensively,
you can't put Jordan Poole. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He can't play right now. Mo, here's the problem. They need to stop the tempo, or somebody needs to contain De'Aaron Fox. Someone needs to contain right now Malik Monk. Okay, and offensive. They need to limit the offensive rebound opportunities of the Sacramento Kings. Well, that's not Jordan Poole's game. All right. Okay. They need defense. That's why Gary Payton is playing. And
Wiggins back in the starting lineup.
Yeah. You cannot guard De'Aaron Fox with a non-athlete. It's been a long time since I've said that about a player. Like you're just saying, this guy is unstoppable coming downhill.
Yeah.
And you can't put a small player on him like Jordan Poole. You got to put length and size on him because he gets by you. And Mo, he has the giant killer. He's got a floater.
And he's
left-handed.
And his jump shot has massively improved throughout his career.
That's what I'm saying. So he is okay. So Steve Kerr said it without saying it today. I have to play him with athletes. So there's only 3 guys going to guard him: Wiggins, Peyton, and Kuminga. Those are the 3 best athletes on his team. Steve Kerr was playing a zone late in the game. Okay. Mm-hmm. Bo, he's letting you know that Sacramento knows there's nothing y'all can do with this guy.
Yeah.
That's just what it is. So you have no chance with Jordan Poole on him. And right now, the confidence that this other kid's playing with, Malik Monk, he has no. Where are you going to match him up?
He's built for the big time. He's just a bucket. He's just a bucket.
That's what I'm saying. It's just
very lazy analysis on my part. But listen, like Malik Monk was huge for the Lakers last year. I thought he'd be a massive loss when he left, and he's proving that he is. So My favorite part of this whole thing is that De'Aaron Fox is cooking the Warriors whilst wearing Steph Curry's sneakers because he's an underarm athlete. I find that pretty funny because there is a stigma in the NBA about wearing someone's shoes when you're going up against them. Is Draymond Green going to be suspended for the next game, or will he be able to play?
No, let him play. We don't. Mo, let's let this go.
I don't know. I'm not making the rules. I'm asking the question.
Yeah.
What's the policy?
Whatever
here?
happened. Yeah, whatever. He got a flagrant 2. Let's keep it moving. It moving. Hey, we got a lot of storylines here. Yeah. We have great intensity. We have literally the Bay Area. We got great players. We got great guard play.
Yeah.
Great coaching. When is game 3? Thursday? Mo, I'm thinking about driving up. I'm thinking about going up there.
Fly me out.
Unbelievable.
Fly me out.
It's this is
just
awesome.
on the flagrant foul. A flagrant 1 is worth 1 point, and a flagrant 2 is worth 2 points. Earning more than 3 points earns a player a 1-game suspension. So if Draymond gets a flagrant foul in the next game, he'll be out for the following game, which is the question I was asking, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
My problem with Thursday night's game, BJ, they've scheduled the Clippers Suns and Warriors Kings at the same damn time.
Okay. Well, Mo, you got to buy another television. You got to get 2 TVs.
I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 screens here. I watch every game imaginable. So I'm like, have you seen The Dark Knight?
Yes.
You know where Morgan Freeman has every CCTV camera in the city? Yes. I have every single game on NBA League Pass. That's me. That's my route. But anyway, let's talk about the other game that went down tonight. The Philadelphia 76ers won game 2, 96-84 against the Brooklyn Nets. Tyrese Maxey came up huge with 33 points. You know, James Harden had a very quiet night, 8 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists. And Joel Embiid pulled down a monster 19 rebounds to go along with 20 points. The game was a little bit closer than the final score, kind of shows. I mean, at halftime, Brooklyn were actually up. Once again, second game in a row, Doc Rivers has made great adjustments at the halftime mark to try and kind of limit.
Doc Rivers did what? What did he do, Mo?
I'm not saying it again. I'm not saying it again. The Brooklyn Nets did a good job. They had a nice little 5-out offense to try and disrupt things, and then trying to take the ball out of Joel Embiid's hands. What did you see in this one? Because from the looks of things, these were 2 fairly comfortable wins for the Sixers, and even going on the road in Brooklyn, you would expect this series to be a sweep.
Well, clearly the Philadelphia 76ers have a huge advantage with Joel Embiid at the center position. I mean, Claxton, and I think they have Royce O'Neal guarding them there. Mm-hmm. They just don't have the size and athleticism. No one does, really, but in particular, it's a huge advantage. Nick Claxton is doing the best he can, but that's just too much size. I mean, Joel Embiid probably has this guy outweighed by 70 pounds.
They don't have a true big. They've got lots of wings with long wingspans, and they did a great job in getting out in transition and, forcing kind of transition buckets off the turnovers. But yeah, there's just no answer to the size of Joel Embiid.
I mean,
and
listen,
it's like what I was going to say is, like, when Shaq was in his prime, I'm not comparing Joel Embiid to Shaq, but when Shaq was in his prime, you had to have big bodies on your roster, even if they weren't that good of a player, just so they can give you minutes to foul him and not let him get comfortable, right? Just to be able to push him a little bit. You just had to have those big bodies there. But now, okay, you don't have the big bodies, and even if you did, Embiid can take it to the perimeter, and he's got the handle, and he's got the scoring ability. He's a matchup nightmare. So there's not many teams in the NBA that are equipped to match up with him in a playoff series. Hopefully the next team in round 2 is. But for this series, the more I watch out, the more I think it's just going to be 4 games. Like I said in the Discord earlier, if you guys want to talk playoffs, by the way, join the Discord server. That's in the link in the description. I said it feels like they're just playing the series for the sake of playing the series.
Well, I think Brooklyn has a good game plan. I like Brooklyn's game plan.
I like it, and it's great in theory. But
and I think they should be a little better at home. They'll get their crowd behind them a little bit. They can get out to get up 8 or 10. I mean, listen, they got a good game plan. Joel Embiid is just a problem now. And here's why I like their game plan. Joel Embiid refuses, for whatever the reason is, to go on the post and just post up. I don't know what's going on there. Okay. And I'm not sure why they feel the need to double team him and triple team him at the top of the key. Like he doesn't want the, clearly Joel Embiid has said, I don't want to get the ball on the box because I have no way to score. If I get it on the box, is he going to get double teamed immediately? So they're trying to put him in a position where he can play out of an area where you can't get double teamed. So I think their game plan is working. However, when Maxey gets 30 and the game before, Tobias Harris played great. Now they just got to have, you got to have where guys don't shoot well. Probably they won't shoot as well on the road, hopefully, as they do at home. So I like their game plan. I can live with Joel Embiid getting 20 points. All right, gets 19 rebounds, but he has 3 blocks. So he really affected the game on the other half. However, he's just not totally dominating on the offensive end. So to me, that lets me know that they're doing the right thing, but you got to execute it, and you need a little help. And the help is, they need guys to miss some shots because they got to live with something, and they're going to live with those, uncontested threes that they're willing to give up.
So let's look at tonight's games. We've got the Hawks and the Celtics, the Knicks and the Cavs, and the Clippers and the Suns. Where do you want to start with this? We start at the top with the Hawks and the Celtics.
Yes,
it should be a win for the Celtics. I would be very concerned if it's not a 10+ point win for Boston, given what we saw in game 1 and the little wake up call they got in the third quarter with the Hawks getting back into the game. It should refocus them. They should go out and just do their thing. The Hawks have no answers for them defensively. I love the 5-out offense that Joe Mazzulla's got them running now. I think we're going to see more of that. And I think that will become very crucial when they go into the next round against Joel Embiid, if they can continue running that 5-out and taking him away from the basket where he's not a shot blocking presence. But that's a conversation will happen if they win, when they win, if they win their first round series. So do you see the Hawks causing an upset in game 2?
Well, I think the Hawks have something that they can go back and talk about and say, listen, if we can figure out how to play like this from the beginning of the game. So let's see. I mean, was this just something that Boston just kind of had a letdown or a lull? Because it's hard to keep a 25, 30-point lead when you get a 25-point lead or so in the first half. So was it just something in the second half that Atlanta saw, made an adjustment that they can carry over? Or was this just something that, the Celtics were like, okay, let's just get through this game and get to game 2? Now, I think the Celtics right now, they've established what they need to establish. They are their dominant team in this series. However, I told you I was concerned then, and I'm concerned coming into game 2 about the depth of their team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm concerned about the depth of their team. Everything went well for them in the first game, right? They shot well, they defended well, they were moving the ball well. They were clicking on all cylinders. However, you're going to hit some rough spots. And you're going to need more than like 7 guys, okay? If they're going to make a playoff run, a deep playoff run, okay? This is a team where you say they have the talent to win an NBA championship, and they're going to have to figure out how to incorporate more than 7 guys if they're going to do this. So let's see how this plays out. I think they are the better team. However, I expect Atlanta to come out with a little pride, play, put up more resistance than they did in the first game, and maybe carry this through, hopefully for a 48-minute stretch. I mean, this is a good team. However, I think Boston can make whatever adjustment to give themselves an advantage. Bringing Rob Williams off the bench gives them a lot of flexibility because they're better on the one side of the ball for sure with him on the floor. And but I think they should win this series. I'm not going to say a sweep, but I think they should win this series. And more importantly, I think they should take care of business as quickly as they can.
The next game, the Knicks and the Cavs, will feature Evan Mobley, who was third in voting for Defensive Player of the Year. The award was actually won by Jaren Jackson Jr. Congratulations to him. Congratulations to him. Further proving that games played and minutes played no longer means anything in the NBA. But I'm happy for him. Shout out to him. He's been great defensively when he has played. It's fantastic. And then we're going to get an MVP who's played under 70 games. But I sound like an old man just ranting now. But anyway, Cavs and the Knicks. Do you think the Knicks are going to steal game 2 on the road and go up 2-0 in this game, or the Cavs going to bounce back? I think for me, it hinges purely upon Cedi Osman or whoever's playing that fifth spot in the lineup for the Cavaliers. If Cedi can hit a few threes and a few shots here and there and give you something on defense, I think you're nice. But otherwise, like we talked about before, the shot distribution in game one was just not there for the Cavaliers. And if that's the same here, and Mitchell's just taking 80% of the shots, it's going to be an L. What do you think?
Well, Mo, I've said it at the beginning of the season. I said it in the middle of the season, the end of the season, and I'm saying it in the playoffs. I think Cleveland has become the East Coast version for me of the Dallas Mavericks.
No.
I don't like to keep harping
you
on
want to
it.
know. You want to know something. You don't want to know something funny, actually, BJ. So this is why I keep telling everyone to join our Discord server, because some of the conversations in there are great. We have great basketball conversations, right? And we got a message just at the start of the game, start of the Warriors Kings game from Mr. Andy Williams, and I'm just scrolling up to find it now because this is how well everyone knows you now, BJ. I've got to get it right now, right? I've got to get it because it really made me laugh. He goes, I'm waiting for it. So this was before the game. He goes, I'm waiting for a Warriors win followed by a BJ favorite on the podcast. Now we got a series. The series doesn't start until a team wins on the other team's court.
Now you're talking. And
then earlier on this afternoon, the chat in the Discord asked me if you have a pager or if you have a smartphone, if you have an iPhone. Someone sent in a picture of the old Nokia brick and said, is this the phone BJ uses because of the technology issues that we discussed yesterday? So it's good vibes in there.
Great, because I just told this to my wife.
BJ refuses
after this year. I refuse to buy a new phone, and my next phone is a flip phone. I'm going flip phone. I'm just doing it.
Yeah.
I'm done with the technology. It interrupts me. It interrupts my flow. You know what I mean? It interrupts my flow, interrupts my vibe. You know what I mean? I got a flip phone.
That's the dream.
I don't want, and then that way, you know what? I'm sorry, I can't text you because you know what? My phone won't text. You know what I mean?
No more emojis.
Call me.
No more emojis.
Yeah, call me.
My favorite is when I text BJ, he just replies thumbs up emoji. I love it.
Yeah, that's what I said. I got something going. But let's get back to these Cavaliers.
Okay, Evan Mobley has to be the best player. We know.
Okay. Second thing. Okay. Donovan Mitchell. Terrific offensive player, right? What do you have last game? 30, what? 7, 38, whatever.
38 points.
Mo, you can't have bigs like Mobley and Jared and what's the kid? Jared Allen.
Yep.
And then he gets 30 shots. And then the next guy in the distribution of shots gets what? How many?
Not
13
enough.
shots?
Yep.
Okay. Mo, that's too big of a disparity. It can't happen. You're playing, and Mo, you got to go on the road, by the way. You're doing this at home. This isn't like game 5, a desperate situation, and you just had to do what you had to do. Mo, you did this in game 1 at home.
Mm-hmm.
You follow what I'm saying, Mo? It makes no sense. Now, you got to look at the numbers and say, oh, man, the guy had 38. Man, he da-da-da-da-da-da. No, Mo. You have to incorporate the other players.
And he couldn't guard his matchup.
That's what I'm saying. Mo, this is what I'm saying. This is a problem. And this is a real problem.
Can I just reinforce what I always say to people? I'm not impressed by any high-scoring performances if you lose the game. You can have 38, you can have 70. I don't care if you lose the game. It means nothing.
Yeah,
you don't celebrate it.
Yeah. That's fine. Now, what is great is we know he has an advantage on the offensive end to score. So let's utilize that advantage to win the game. Just chucking up shots. He's got to. We have to get those big guys involved in the game. Jared Allen or in particular, I just keep harping on Mobley. Then I'm not going to say it again. Evan Mobley is a star. He has to be featured. This young kid is without question a top 20 player in this league. I think he could be even better than a top 20 player.
I don't think
Evan
he's
Mobley.
I don't think he's a top 20 player, but I think he can be a top 20 player if he's placed in a position to succeed.
I think Evan Mobley is a top 20 talent that with the, if he keep evolving, we keep featuring him.
You have to be in the positions to show your talent. You know what I mean?
If he is a top 20 talent. I think this kid could be. I told you when he was coming out in the draft. I remember you and I were talking about the draft, and I said, it's this kid at USC. That's where we went to school out here. And I kept watching the kid. However, Mo, he can't have 8 points, have to guard Julius Randle, and then be like, well, what's going on? No, he's got to be featured. Now, let's see what they do.
I think a big factor.
And give the Knicks credit. Yeah, give the Knicks credit too.
A big factor, though, Josh Hart, who pulled down 10 boards in the last game, best rebounding guard in the league, in my opinion. He is apparently missing the game with I think it's an ankle issue. So that will be, a detriment to the Knicks. I expect the Cavs to take this one, and you've got a level series going into New York. Otherwise, it's
I'm just interested to see
sticky.
What the Cavs. Because here's what I'm interested in seeing. This is a must game for the Cavs. Listen, it's no secret about it. But you know what I'm interested in? They got to change their game plan. Because not only do they have to win this game, they have to win the game now in New York. And this style of play that they're playing, Mo, they're not going to win any games in New York. So let's see what they're going to do. Let's see who else they're going to feature, whether it's Darius Garland or whatever.
Well, they have to feature someone else.
Change.
I mean,
somebody else. Yeah.
All right.
Let's
get to the game of the night, or what was anticipated to be the game of the night. The Clippers and the Suns. What a game. I'm still hyped off that Russell Westbrook block and throwing the ball off Devin Booker. Like that, I'm still gassed about that. Do you think, I watched back some of that game today, and some of the Kawhi went off, obviously, but some of them were just he's coming off a simple pin down. Do you see the Suns changing up their coverages, kind of throwing two players on Kawhi, not letting him get the catch easier, forcing the ball out of his hands, forcing the rest of the team to beat you? And then the other thing that stood out to me was just the way that the Suns defense collapsed and just left shooters wide open on the perimeter for the Clippers anytime, it was Kawhi and these guys driving into the paint. Do you see the Suns changing up the way in which they play their defense for this game and the adjustments that they're going to make there?
Well, Mo, this is what I see. The first five I'm okay with, right? They have, I think, four of their guys. They had three guys, I think, with 20 or more points. I think the big fella had 18, if I remember correctly. Ayton had 18. They had three other guys had 20 or more points. And Chris Paul, as I told you, he doesn't have to score any. He doesn't have to score.
He had 7, 11, and 10. So
okay, all right. So and that's fine. That's all we need. Now,
6
here's
points,
what I'm concerned about.
6 points off their bench. 6 points off their bench.
No, the kid Landale. I think they had 10 points.
Am I missing it? Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Lando had 4, Shamma had 4, and Biombo had 2.
Okay. Now, here's where to me is where I have a huge question mark. The depth of the Phoenix Suns right now is a problem. Okay. And here's the problem. Okay. I got two names.
34
Norman
off the bench.
Powell.
34 off the bench for the Clippers.
Norman Powell and Terrence Mann. The Suns have no athletes that can match them coming off the bench. None. Okay.
Okogie is the only one I could say.
Yeah, possibly, but he's not. He can't guard both of those guys. And with Kawhi Leonard and Nicholas Batum and Russell Westbrook, he can't guard all these guys. They have depth at that wing position, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And these guys, Norman Powell and Terrence Mann, to me, they can play at a faster pace than the Phoenix Suns. That's the first thing. Second, this kid Plumlee and Zubac together, they play a nice physical brand of basketball. And they got to settle in on whether it's going to be Londale or Biyombo.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they went with Landale for the offense That beyond
And
what
then
but then
Bismack,
you're giving up the physicality that Bismack brings. And I think in a series like this, against guys like Russ and you need physicality.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because if the big fella gets in foul trouble like he did in last game, talking about
DeAndre
Ayton, then you're going to have some decisions to make. So let's see what happens. Now, Kawhi Leonard was spectacular, right? He was spectacular. He was Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard right now is, whoever you can argue who's the best player right now that's in the playoffs. Kawhi Leonard is in everybody's top 5. Okay.
Oh yeah.
He's arguably in everybody's top 3 right now.
He might be the best. He might be the
best right now. Okay. So Kawhi Leonard right now is playing like Kawhi Leonard. Now, I want to see the adjustments that's going to be made because in my opinion, in a must game like this, but they've only played 8 games, 9 games together. They're going to have to change on the fly to feature, in my opinion, Kevin Durant in need situations, meaning when they need to score or they need a shot, Kevin Durant is going to have to get that ball in an operating area to create offense for himself. If the double team comes, make the appropriate play. And you saw, even in the last play of the game, the ball got to Devin Booker, but you can argue, why didn't it get to Kevin Durant?
I did argue that, I believe.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So I think they're going to have to change that up. Let's see what they do. DeAndre Ayton, clearly DeAndre Ayton is a must be on the floor if they're going to win this series. And he's going to have to play at a very elite level to counter those other 2 bigs. So now I don't know what they're going to do. I'm going to guess what they're probably going to do is probably go zone because they're going to have to somehow contain those other athletes, talking about Powell and Mann, because those guys they're just too athletic for, the guys that they got coming off, what's the kid's name? I can't think of the kid's name.
Landry Shamet.
Shamet and all those guys. Yeah. You know what I mean? Wainwright and those guys. Those guys are just too athletic. Okay. Talking about the Clippers. So I think they'll be fine. KD, I need him to have one of those KD games. He's got to have over 30 because we're going to have to count. If Kawhi's going to play like this, he's going to have to get 30 to cancel that out. Yep. And then if he can cancel that out, then I think Devin Booker should be the next best player on the floor on both teams.
Yeah.
And then I think they'll be fine. And then they should be able to take care of the game. But right now, give the Clippers credit. Westbrook was terrific, even though he didn't shoot well. Man, and those guys came in. They have depth. And my guy, Coach Ty Lue, hey, man, the guy's he's a playoff coach. When he just shows up in the playoffs and he figures out, puts together a great game plan. Very nice win for the Clippers. And how about this? Clippers-Lakers, we're 3 games away.
Hey, I'm here for it. And then the Battle of California in the conference finals against the Kings, huh?
How about that?
I mean, no, we're not 3 games away because the Clippers will play the Nuggets.
Oh,
it's Kings Lakers for the Kings to get revenge for 2002. And then Kings Lakers winner versus Clippers Nuggets winner, assuming the Timberwolves don't do anything crazy.
Oh yeah, my bad.
And that's assuming the Kings win. And the one thing I want to say this is the series with Golden State is far from over. The Golden State Warriors have a great home record and they've got the championship experience XYZ. So we can't just discount them already. This Clippers Suns, they won game 1, but Kevin Durant is Kevin Durant. You never know what's going to happen. So there is still a lot more to come. And to stay up to date with it all, make sure you subscribe to the Hoop Genius podcast because we're breaking it down every day. If you guys didn't even notice, we've been doing weekend episodes. We work in overtime. It's 6:30 in the morning. Sun's up. My health is in the shambles. My sleep pattern's in the mud. But it's all for you guys. So subscribe. Tell your friends to get listening to the Hoop Genius podcast. Most importantly, get buckets.